Congratulations. What a great year. Starting with, I mean, I got to say, you won WrestleMania.
WrestleMania 40. Undisputed.
The fallout from Royal Rumble 2025 rocked the foundation of WWE like an earthquake, leaving fans, superstars, and the entire industry reeling. Kevin Owens' rise to glory came at a heavy cost, one that seemed to rip apart the very fabric of WWE's universe. His victory, once dreamed of and meticulously plotted, had been tarnished by a single devastating act: the brutal betrayal of his closest ally, Cody Rhodes. While Owens may have stood victorious, clutching the Undisputed Championship with pride, the hollow ache in his chest and the scorn of the WWE Universe were the true trophies he had earned. The price of victory. Owens' hollow triumph. Kevin Owens, now the Undisputed Champion, had achieved the pinnacle of success, but it was an empty triumph. The gold around his waist felt heavier than any championship ever should, not because of its weight, but because of the psychological burden it carried. His victory was not the result of a fair fight, nor was it the sweet product of relentless determination. It was a calculated act of betrayal. Owens had turned on Cody Rhodes, a friendship. The aftermath was immediate and brutal. Fans who once revered Owens for his vicious, no-nonsense approach to wrestling now turned their backs on him. His every move was met with boos, his presence tainted by the betrayal of the man he had called his ally. His victory, no longer about the Undisputed Championship, had been reduced to a cautionary tale about the true cost of ambition. Owens had achieved the title, yes, but the bitter taste of his actions would linger in his mouth far longer than the satisfaction of wearing the gold. Owens could feel the weight of every pair of eyes in the arena. The WWE Universe had once celebrated him as a fighter, a warrior who would do anything to claim victory. But now, that same ruthless determination was viewed with distrust, with animosity. His place at the top was questioned not just for his physical prowess, but for his morals. The questions in the air were not whether Owens could defeat any challenger, but whether he could truly stand tall as the champion when he had sacrificed so much, including his soul, to get there. Cody Rhodes. A heartbreak. Beyond the ring. For Cody Rhodes, the devastation was even more profound. The Royal Rumble. 2025 had been a culmination of years of hard work, sacrifice, and grit. A journey to reclaim a championship that was once within his grasp, but had slipped away like sand through his fingers. His story wasn't just about winning titles or proving himself to his father's legacy. It was about finding validation in a place that often felt hostile. But then, in the most cruel of twists, Cody's journey came to an agonizing halt at the hands of someone he trusted with everything. Owens' betrayal cut deeper than any steel chair, any crossface, or any superkick could have. The moment Cody lay on the mat, his dream slipping further away, the realization set in. The man who he had fought beside, who had promised camaraderie and support, had turned his back on him in the coldest way imaginable. The pain in Cody's eyes was unmistakable. It was not just the physical toll of the match, it was the agony of a man who had built his entire existence on the belief that his struggles, his pain, and his journey would be worth it in the end. But here, on the floor of the arena, with the Undisputed Championship slipping from his fingers, it was clear that the fight for glory had cost him more than he could have ever anticipated. It wasn't just the title that was slipping away, it was his belief in the people he had fought for, his belief in the friendships that had been forged in the trenches of WWE. However, as the shock wore off, so too did the heartbreak. A fire began to ignite deep within Cody Rhodes, a fire that burned with the intensity of a man who had lost everything but was not about to let it define him. The pain of betrayal would not be his ending, it would be his beginning. He would rise again, stronger, with a resolve that no betrayal could extinguish. The legacy of Owens, a struggle with redemption. Though Kevin Owens now stood atop WWE, the title hanging proudly around his waist, he faced a battle that could never be won inside the squared circle. His every move, his every match, was now under a magnifying glass. The trust of the WWE Universe had been shattered, and with it, his reputation. The championship was a symbol of victory, but to Owens, it had become a constant reminder of what he had done to attain it. He had destroyed a friendship, betrayed a man who had believed in him, and in the process, fractured his own soul. The cold, calculating part of him knew that this was the price of greatness. But as the weeks passed, and his first few defences of the title took place, the harsh reality began to set in. The cheers he had once received were replaced with chants of, "You sold out," and "You can't be trusted." His journey to the top had been marked by moral compromise, and now that compromise had come home to roost. The weight of his actions, much like the championship belt, was suffocating. Owens's every victory now felt like a loss. Even as he put opponents down with his devastating pop-up powerbomb and stunner, there was no satisfaction in the triumph. The legacy he had hoped to build was slowly turning into a burden, a shadow that loomed over every title defense, every step he took as champion. Owens had become a villain, not just in the eyes of the WWE Universe, but in his own heart. And with every passing week, the question began to surface. Was it all worth it? Cody Rhodes, a journey of redemption. Meanwhile, Cody Rhodes was embarking on a journey that was far from over. The emotional devastation of Royal Rumble 2025 had almost broken him. But in its aftermath, Cody found clarity. The title had eluded him once again, but something far more precious had been ignited within him, the unrelenting desire to prove that he was more than just a victim of betrayal. His path was now about reclaiming his dignity, his identity, and ultimately, the respect he had once commanded. The pain of losing, of being betrayed by someone he had trusted as family, could have shattered a lesser man. But for Cody Rhodes, the heartache became fuel. He wasn't just fighting for a title anymore, he was fighting for his own redemption. The fire in his eyes, the hunger for justice was palpable. A story that would ultimately see him rise again, stronger than ever before. Obstacles, both physical and emotional. He would face adversity from all sides, from Owens's continued reign as champion to the doubters who questioned if he had it in him to rise above the pain. But Cody's story was never about giving up. It was about pushing forward despite the odds, despite the heartbreak, and despite the cruelty of betrayal. He had been knocked down, but he would rise again, not just to claim the title, but to reclaim his place in WWE history on his own terms. A cautionary tale for WWE. The price of betrayal, the events of Royal Rumble. 2025 served as a grim reminder to all in WWE. The pursuit of glory is not without its consequences. Kevin Owens may have claimed the Undisputed Championship, but the price of his victory was a heavy one. It wasn't just about winning, it was about how far one was willing to go, how many people one was willing to betray in order to reach the top. In the ruthless world of WWE, there are no shortcuts to success, and for those who choose to forsake loyalty, trust, and integrity for the sake of ambition, the cost can be far greater than they ever imagined. Owens's triumph may have been hard-earned, but it was forever tainted by the act of betrayal that led him there. The title was his, but at what cost? For Cody Rhodes, the Royal Rumble 2025 was a harsh reminder that redemption and respect are never easily won. Betrayal may have broken him in the moment, but it would be the catalyst for his transformation. His path was far from finished. In fact, it was only just beginning. His journey would be one of resilience and unyielding determination, a quest to prove to the world that redemption wasn't about titles. It was about reclaiming one's soul and identity in the face of the darkest adversities. Cody Rhodes, rising from the ashes. Cody Rhodes' journey, though heartbreaking, served as a powerful lesson. Victory isn't permanent, and redemption is a battle worth fighting. His desire to prove that he was more than just a product of his father's legacy, more than just a man searching for validation, would guide him through the pain of betrayal and lead him toward a future of unimaginable triumphs. Cody's story was never just about gold. It was about something deeper, something far would prove to be far more valuable than any championship. The cost of redemption. Struggling against betrayal. Cody Rhodes lay a haunting pain, a constant reminder of the betrayal he had suffered at the hands of his former ally, Kevin Owens. Fans had stood by his side, roaring their support as he fought tooth and nail to prove his worth. His defiance in the face of adversity had earned him a reputation as one of WWE's most admirable warriors. Yet, even with the roaring applause of the WWE Universe behind him, Cody knew that redemption would not be handed to him on a silver platter. No, redemption had a much harsher price, one that demanded more than mere strength, more than a will to win. It demanded the ability to rise time and again, no matter the cost, no matter the weight of betrayal that hung heavy on his shoulders. With each step forward, Cody was faced with the echoes of Owens's treachery, the sting of a friendship torn apart, and the painful realization that the journey ahead was far from a triumphant parade. The emotional wounds cut deeper than any physical battle, and as the WWE Universe rallied behind him, they unknowingly created an impossible weight for him to carry. Their expectations were high, their faith in him unwavering, but their unwavering support did nothing to erase the scars left on his soul. Cody's quest was no longer just about titles. It was about reclaiming something more fragile, more elusive, his own sense of respect and identity. A victory marred by expectations. When Cody Rhodes finally grasped the Undisputed Championship, the moment felt like the culmination of a long and arduous journey. A journey fueled by heartache, struggle, and an insatiable hunger to prove himself. Yet, as the golden belt settled around his waist, the euphoric sensation was quickly overtaken by the heavy burden of what that victory truly meant. The cheers of the WWE Universe rang out, but, in the back of Cody's mind, the realization began to dawn. With great triumph came great responsibility. The title wasn't just a symbol of his hard-fought success. It was a reminder that the true challenge had only just begun. Now that he had achieved the pinnacle of success, the pressure to maintain that success was crushing. Every match that followed, every moment spent defending his championship, would be scrutinized under a magnifying glass, dissected by the fans and the media alike. What had once been a dream to capture the title now felt more like a constant test, one that demanded his absolute best at all times. Cody knew that his every move would now be analysed, not just for his in-ring prowess, but for his ability to stand tall as a champion in the face of rising expectations. The WWE Universe, who had rallied behind him during the darkest moments of his career, would now demand more than ever. It wasn't enough to simply hold the title. He had to prove that he was worthy of it, and that meant facing down not just the threats from his opponents, but the constant fear that one misstep could see him toppled from the mountaintop. A legacy built on resilience, but fragile in nature. The Undisputed Championship was more than just a title. It was the physical manifestation of everything Cody had fought for. The blood, sweat, and tears he had poured into his career all culminated in that moment of glory. But the cold, hard truth of the WWE landscape was that nothing, no matter how hard earned, was ever permanent. A champion was only as good as their last victory, and the cost of maintaining that championship would weigh heavily on Cody as the days passed. The WWE Universe loved a champion who fought with heart, but even the most resilient warriors faced the harsh truth that the higher they rose, the further they could fall. Every victory Cody earned would come with the knowledge that someone else was always waiting, lurking in the shadows, ready to claim what was rightfully his. The pursuit of greatness, though filled with moments of glory, was a constant battle for survival. It was a challenge that would test Cody in ways he had never imagined, and the pressure to defend his title could very well unravel the very legacy he had spent so long crafting. Cody's story had been built on resilience, but the real test was yet to come. His legacy was fragile, and the spotlight that once brought him admiration could quickly turn to scrutiny. It wasn't just about surviving in the ring. It was about surviving the weight of expectation and the constant fear of failure. Cody had earned his place at the top, but staying there would demand more than just his usual drive. It would require every ounce of strength, focus, and determination he possessed. Owens' hollow victory. A reminder of consequences. For Kevin Owens, the victory 2025 had been a personal triumph, one that he had fought long and hard for. Yet, when the confetti fell and the cheers of the crowd rained down, there was a hollow emptiness that overshadowed the moment. Owens had reached the pinnacle of WWE, but at what cost? His betrayal of Cody, a man he had once called a brother, had tainted every aspect of his victory. The championship around his waist felt like a cold, lifeless prize, won not through honour and integrity, but through deception and treachery. The truth would forever be marked by the shadow of his actions. Though he had achieved the ultimate prize, the trust and respect he once held with the WWE Universe had been shattered beyond repair. The whispers of betrayal would haunt his dishonourable ascent would always overshadow his achievements. Owens had won the title, but the journey had come with a cost, a price that would follow him for the rest of his career. For Cody, Owens' hollow victory served as a painful reminder that the road to redemption was never clear-cut. The battle to reclaim the championship was not just about taking back what had been stolen. It was about proving that he had the strength to rise from the ashes of betrayal. The impact of Owens' actions would never be forgotten, and no matter how much Cody achieved in the future, the ghosts of the past would always linger in the background, reminding him of the price of greatness. Cody's real test, a legacy under siege. The journey of Cody Rhodes was never going to be easy, but as the newly crowned champion, the weight of his title had become more burdensome than he had anticipated. His every move, his every decision, would now be scrutinized under a microscope. The WWE Universe, once so supportive, would expect nothing less than perfection. But perfection was a fleeting thing in the unforgiving world of professional wrestling. Cody had fought for so long to prove that he was more than just a name, more than just Dusty Rhodes' son. But now, as the undisputed champion, he faced a new challenge, one that had nothing to do with his opponents and everything to do with his own psyche. Would be met with more challenges, each one more dangerous than the last. The WWE Universe, fickle as they were, could turn on him in an instant, leaving him vulnerable and alone in the face of an unforgiving industry. Cody would need to dig deeper than ever before, drawing strength just fighting for a championship. He was fighting for his legacy, and the true test of a champion was not in the gold around their waist, but in their ability to endure and evolve. A cautionary tale. Victory is never permanent. Cody Rhodes' journey had been nothing short of remarkable, but as he stood atop the WWE mountain, the reality of his position began to settle in. Victory was never permanent, and the price of greatness was always high. The cheers of the WWE Universe, while a comforting reminder of his hard-fought rise, were just as quickly replaced by the cold, harsh reality that the battle for redemption was far from over. The story of Cody Rhodes, one of resilience, heartache, and defiance, would serve as a cautionary tale for anyone who dared to dream of championship glory. Victory was not guaranteed to last, and the price of redemption was steep. For Cody, the real test had only just begun. Would he be able to withstand the pressures of maintaining his hard-earned title? Could he overcome the ever-growing expectations of the WWE Universe? The answers would only reveal themselves in the trials ahead, but one thing was certain. Cody Rhodes would face whatever came his way with the unbreakable spirit that had defined his journey.